You know what you should do? You should follow me on Twitter at Brahma018. Link in the description. Do it now. Hello everyone, welcome along to another FIFA 21 custom tactics video, the series where I show you how to recreate and adapt real life systems in FIFA so that they will actually work as effectively and similarly in game. It's Brahma here as always, thanks for joining me, and today we're going to switch our focus to the Serie A, and we're taking a look at Stefano Pioli's AC Milan system. We've done a few Premier League systems so far mainly, so I want to switch it up a bit and start focusing on other leagues, and this has been without a doubt the most suggested. I'm pretty sure I left a poll up actually, and this was the one that you guys wanted to see next. So we are going to be taking a look today. As of recording this, they've started off the season really well. They're currently top of the league. They're on really good form, which is a stark contrast to how they were doing in the previous season, where, you know, around about December time in the last season, they'd come off a thumping to Atalanta, and it really looked like it was going downhill, but they've soon turned it around, and very interesting to see. So we're going to be covering this system today. So the hallmarks of this system really, it's quite a versatile system, and it's, you know, predominantly about, you know, attacking and pressing as much, but, you know, with this sort of 4-2-3-1 that we've got here, it also offers the versatility and variety to sort of bed back in and be more defensive and play on the counter-attack when they need to. But predominantly it is about sort of, you know, playing an expansive attacking style game. So what we'll do is I'll show you a couple of position changes first, and then we'll move on to the tactics, and I'll go through and I'll show them and I'll explain them, and then we'll finish off with the player instructions. So first off, we've got the 4-2-3-1 wide formation, but what you're going to actually do here is you're going to actually want to get the two right and left midfielders, and you're going to want to change them to wingers. And the reason being is that they just get further forward. You know, when they play as left and right midfielders, they're not really as very effective. They don't get in behind enough. They don't get into those advanced areas enough. So when you have them on the wing, as long as you have them on comeback on defence, they'll still do their defensive duties as well, but they'll get into those more advanced areas. So, you know, a whole lot more effective when you're playing them on the wing. Other than that, though, there's not any more position changes. We'll keep the rest of them as they are. And now we can move on to the team tactics. So we'll start off with the defensive phase of the game here, and we have press after possession loss. So generally, there's an emphasis on counter press, and that's what you'll see throughout the gameplay on the right hand side. And really what it does is it allows them to, again, get that versatility, because they can play on the front foot, and when they lose a ball, because they'll generally be possession orientated, you know, they will try and, you know, press and win the ball back as quickly as possible. But when it gets to a point where, say, they haven't won it back initially, they can then regain their shape and then get back into those sort of, you know, the bank of four, the bank of five, the 4-5-1 essentially in defence, which is what press after possession loss will get you. And you'll see we sort of use that in the game. Generally what you'll see in the game is and what we're going to talk about a lot, is the sort of versatility of this system and the variety it has. Is that in the first half you'll see us pressing a whole lot, playing on the front foot a lot with a lot of possession as well. When we lose it, like I say, we instantly try and win the ball back. But in the second half, we then sort of bed in more, be a bit more defensive, allow Lazio to have the ball a little bit more, and it sort of works, and it shows the variety that the system has, that the team has as well. So we got press after possession loss. In terms of the width defensively, we've got this on 3. This means that teams have got to go around either side to get to you, which is fine. As you can see, I sort of allowed that to happen. If they want to try and test the likes of Yoli and Kia in the air, then by whipping crosses in, then so be it. You know, I trust those two defenders in that situation. So we have them on 3, and it allows the team to prevent the opposition from playing through the middle. With depth, we actually have this on 6th. And once again, it's about that versatility again. So with 6, you've got that sort of mid-block. And it means that you can instigate a counter press, but it also, because it's lower than, say, like an 8, 9 or 10, it also means that the opposition are less likely to be able to play the ball over the top and find that space in behind, which in particular on FIFA as well, you'll find is, you know, quite easy for the opposition to do, people to play in behind, still easily exploitable. So it's just a way of preventing that a little bit more and giving you more of a an option to stop that. So that's sort of the defensive phase done. Now we can move on to in possession. First off, yeah, we have possession, which is fairly self-explanatory. As I sort of alluded to at the start of the video, you know, they will try and play expansive. They'll try and play attacking when they need to. Possession allows you to have that sort of balance because we can still have that counter-attack emphasis through the individual player instructions, but we can also have players come in closer when they need to in order to retain possession and provide those passing options. With the width, we actually have this on 8. This means that you're allowed to play through the sides. And what you'll see with Milan this season in particular, you know, since they've sort of signed Ibrahimovic, actually, is when they've really gone for this sort of wide emphasis. It allows them to get a lot of crosses into the box. Now, you'll see we do put a lot of crosses into the area in this game. Ibrahimovic doesn't get onto them as much as we would have liked to, but it still does cause a lot of areas of threat from our side of things. So with them getting wide, you create a lot of space for those wingers and those fullbacks to really do their thing on either touchline. With players in the box, we have this on 4, so you'll get Ibrahimovic in there. You'll have the 2 wingers in there, providing one of them isn't taking the crosses, and if they are, then you'll have the likes of maybe Kessié as a box-to-box midfielder getting in there as well. So that'll be very very handy, and again, it complements that whole crossing emphasis. And finally, for corners and free kicks, as always is the case for people who always watch these videos, you'll already know, move these up to 4, then it means that you've got more players in the box to provide a bigger threat from those set-piece situations, but you'll still have 2 men back and another one on the edge of the area as well, which means that you can counter and prevent any opposition counter-attacks that may form if they manage to win the ball from those set-pieces. So that is pretty much it for the tactics side of things. As I say, it's a very versatile system. Lots of emphasis on crossing, getting the ball out wide, creating and utilising space as much as possible, preferably at a higher speed and a higher tempo. But like I say, it can also do a range of things as well. They can play on the counter. They can, you know, be more robust if they need to. So, yeah, moving on to the player instructions now. What we'll do is we'll start off with the keeper and we'll work our way up the field, suggesting suitable players on the side along the way. So first off with Donnarumma, we have him a sweeper keeper and comes to crosses. Pretty standard for these videos now. Comes across is just allows you to take pressure off the defenders when there's balls coming into the box, because keepers are relatively overpowered in those sort of crossing situations. You know, they've sort of got a bit of an invisible wall around them. So with him sort of claiming crosses, it means that you can you know, sort of utilise that to your advantage. And with sweeper keeper, like we said, we've got it on 6, the defensive line, so you've got a sort of mid block. But if at all at any point you find that there's balls going over the top, hopefully your keeper should be able to just relieve the pressure on that. It helps for any sort of system where, you know, they want to play a more expansive possession style game. With the 2 centre-backs next, we have Yoli and Kia here. Of course, Romagnoli's generally been injured for a lot of the season so far, but he will be the, you know, sort of the main guy. You're really looking for 2 sort of, like I say, aerial presences in the box. People who are very good with those crossing situations. With these 2, you got 6'2" and 6'3". Both got relatively decent jumping as well in the mid to high 70s. So that's okay. And so yeah, that's preferably what you're looking for. You would also like, it's not so much desired that you've got pacey centre backs. Of course, you don't want to really slow either, just because of the fact that the game will sort of punish you for that. But you know, you also don't need them to be 80 plus as well. So next, moving on to the fullbacks, they both have the same instructions. We have Calabria and Theo Hernandez. And for both of these, we're going to have overlap and join the attack. So again, you know, lots of emphasis on getting out wide, getting lots of crosses into the box, utilising that space in those wide areas. And it's the same for the fullbacks as well. Now, we don't need to move these up to wing backs, which is what we've done in other areas, because what I've found is that
you want more protection, basically, because of the fact that you're playing a 4-2-3-1. Part of that is that you're looking for more protection with the counter attacks. As you'll see, they'll still get further forward. It won't be quite to the byline unless space has been created for them to run into those areas. However, if the wingers are already out there, sort of more take slightly deeper positions, but they will still look to join the attack and overlap when they need to. So that's very, very handy. Moving on to the two central midfielders now. Now, we've got Tonali as one of these. They've generally been playing someone like Ismail Benacer a little bit more. But I imagine most people playing as AC Milan on this game will prefer Tonali because of his high growth stats. So we'll go with Tonali for this. Now, they've both got two different roles. The left defensive midfielder is the more defensive-minded player in this sort of setup that we got here. So we got Tonali as that more defensive-minded player. So he's on cut passing lanes for defensive behaviour because man mark just doesn't really work on this game. And he's got stay back while attacking as well. So he will be that sort of more defensive-minded midfielder. We've also got him on cover centre as well because we've got the two fullbacks there on the side who are not wing-backs, they're fullbacks. So like I say, they won't be overlapping and getting to the byline as much. They'll just be more providing those sort of deep crossing situations. So you won't need to cover the space that they leave as much. If and when they do, you can manually do that should you need to. But as you'll see from the game playing the right hand side, not too much of a problem. So as I say, he's a more defensive minded midfielder there, so that's why we have him on stable while attack. Whereas with Franck Kessié on the other side, you've got that box-to-box player, and this is something that he does so well. Often you'll find him sort of arriving into the box late to, you know, just to sort of prowl on any crosses and any loose balls. For anyone who watched my AC Milan career mode series last year on FIFA 20, you'll have noticed that we had a lot of joy from Kessié doing that because he's just so good in that role. He's got lots of attributes that lend themselves to that system. Very, very all-rounded. And so that's what makes him just the ideal box-to-box player. So he's very, very good. And it's good to see Milan sort of getting the best out of him, you know, with that role. Because I do believe that is his best role. So we have that on get forward. Otherwise, the other instructions are exactly the same. Cover centre and cut passing lanes. So next we move on to the free attacking midfielder. So we'll start off with Chalonolu here, actually, as the sort of number 10. So we got him on comeback on defence. And then with his sort of crossing support role, we have him on stay on the edge of the box for crosses as well. So he's essentially that sort of more advanced pivot. And what I mean by that is any balls sort of outside the area, he's the one picking it up and then instigating play from there. You'll have the likes of Kessié running in beyond him to get into the box as that box-to-box player, as I just said. So that's why Chalonolu will sort of fill in that space there, offer a little bit of protection, also offers that creative outlet from the edge of the box when you've got all the likes of Kessié and the three front men sort of getting into the box as well. He will be sort of prowling on the edge of the area and getting there. The reason why we have him on stick to position rather than free roam here is for that reason, is that you want him on the edge of the box in those central areas, picking up any loose balls and being that creative outlet. The likes of Rebic and all the other wingers and Kessié, etc., will be picking up those spaces in and around the wide areas. So you don't need him on free roam. You want him sort of picking up those spaces in behind, in the hole even, excuse me. And occasionally what you'll find is, as you'll see in the gameplay, you might have noticed one of the goals, he will run in behind. But that's only very, very rare occasion when someone like Ibrahimovic drops off and you're looking to play on the counter-attack as well and hit them on the break. Otherwise, he'll be staying in the hole and being that creative outlet. So next, on to the wingers. They've both got the same role here. And we'll start off with, well, like I said, they got the same role, so it doesn't matter. So we've got them both on comeback on defence, as you can see. So yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't need to go into that one. And then with the sort of attacking movement, we got them on cut inside and get in behind. Excuse me. And so, as you'll find again, one, it gives you that emphasis on counter-attack because of getting in behind. Even though you're on the tactics, you've got that sort of possession-based style, and also you'll see that there'll be penetrating runs as well. You know, when you've got a team who are trying to play possession, they're playing through the thirds and they're looking to break teams down, it's the likes of the wingers who are running in behind, and that's what you'll find a lot, you know, in this system as well. And it works out really well, as you can see. We score a couple of goals from that sort of emphasis on them sort of penetrating the back line and utilising the pace to game behind. So that's very, very handy. And then we've also on getting to the box for crosses as well, which we've already talked about. Don't need to really go into that too much here. So that's really the front 10 done. Now we just have Ibrahimovic to go, the main man up front. I actually need to change this to mixed attack. And so what we'll find is, well, actually we'll come on to that. We'll start off with stay central. Now obviously that's quite obvious. You don't want him drifting out wide. That's not his game. You want him to stay central. He is the target. He is the main man up front. And we've also got him on stay forward as well. He won't be tracking back, doing no defensive duties. He is the out ball. He is the, he's just a number 9, isn't he? So he will do that role and he'll do it very, very well with his attributes. Now with attacking runs, rather than target man, we're going to actually have this on mix. Now, obviously, a lot of you would be expecting Ibrahimovic to be the target man, which he is. They play off him, they put a lot of crosses into him, and that's what he does. But the reason why we have this on mixed is that what you'll find is that when we have him at target man, because of the fact that he's playing that role and asking for the ball for feet for stuff, what you'll find is that when you're crossing in balls, he's not actually trying to penetrate the defence and get on the end of the crosses. He plays a bit more passively, and what you want is for obviously him to attack those crosses as much as possible, attack those balls into the box. So with mixed, you find that a little bit more. Now it's still a bit of an issue, and as you can find, we won't find him on crosses as much. However, because it's mixed, you've still got that sort of balance between him playing as a target man, asking for the ball to feet, playing in other people when he needs to, and holding the ball up, which works out very, very well in this game. However, he should hopefully still be running in behind, and you will see that if the fourth goal, you do see the fourth goal, we do get a fourth. If that comes along, you'll see he does, also do that as well. So we'll poach onto those sort of through balls when he needs to as well. So he just plays the ultimate number 9 role, really, and that's what you need. And you don't need someone with too much pace. You're really looking for someone, that sort of dominating aerial presence, that big-bodied type target man player. So that's very, very handy, and you'll find that he sort of plays that role well. So that's it for this video then, guys. If you've made it through to the end, then I do appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please be sure to get in your questions. If you have any questions about the system, something that you want to sort of probe me about, do just comment below, and I'll do my best to get back to you, try and respond to as much of the comments as I can. Lots of suggestions coming in, so we will start to work our way through. I hope you've enjoyed this video today. Be sure to leave a like on the video if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel as well for more regular gaming content. Ring the bell for more notifications. Subscribe to my second channel as well, Brommer Ball, which hopefully we'll start getting videos out on that soon, which is going to be covering sort of real football videos. So hopefully that's content you will like. And also give me a follow on Twitter as well. The link for that is in the description. On that note, we are going to finish it off there. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you soon.